Welcome to once again. In this series, we are going to discuss the subject Object-Oriented Programming with Java. This is unit number 2 and topic is Control Flow and Exceptions and JVM Reaction to the Exceptions. My name is Sun Microsystems, Assistant Professor, CSUDS. We have discussed in previous lecture that the control flow of the series of unit number 2. In this lecture, we will discuss control flow and exceptions and JVM reaction to exceptions. So let's start. The control flow and exceptions is important topic. Control flow and exceptions are referred to how to program execute path change when execution is encountered. When execution is encountered, how the program will be behave. That's why the control flow exception should be there. First part. Second part, when the exceptional conditions occurs during the execution of the program, such as the division by the 0, for example, 20 divided by 0, there is no answer. This is called exceptions. अगर हमने किसी को डिवाइड से डिवाइड कर दिया है, उसका आंसर तो पता नहीं होता हमको, तो वो क्या एक तरह से वो हमको एक्सेप्शन ले आता है, डिवीजन बाय 0 और अटेम्प्टिंग टू एक्सेस द इंडेक्स बाउंड ऑफ द बाउंड्री ऑफ एक्सिस. जैसे मेरे पास एरे है किसी चीज की और जो इंडेक्स है उसका 0 1 2 3 4 है और मैंने करा कि 6, वो तो है ही नहीं इसके अंदर, तो इट विल क्रिएट सम एक्सेप्शंस. बाउंड्री ऑफ एरे. इन दिस केस द एक्सेप्शन throws. Next point is this interrupt the normal execution flow and transfer control to the exceptional handler. The handler can then take the appropriate action, such as the logging the error and display the error message to the user or attempting to recover the execution condition. This is a control flow in execution. Means the control flow in execution is referred to how the program execution path changes when the exception is occurred. First thing. In second part, conditions you given an exception came. For example, division by 0 or attempting to access the index of array which is out of boundary. Third thing, the handler can take the appropriate action to recover this exceptional condition. You can see in this part, this is flow control in tie catch finally in Java. In topic number 1, the control flow in the tie catch and cause or the catch finally cause. There is case number 1, this is case number 2, this is case number 3. In the case number 1, exceptions occurs in tie box and handled in the catch box. अगर इसके अंदर टी में आया है और हो रहा है वो कैच के अंदर. फर्स्टली ट्राई में आया और कैच में हैंडल हुआ. इन केस नंबर 2 के अंदर कि exception occurs in the try box block and not handle in the catch. तो इसमें आया और कैच में हैंडल नहीं हुआ. केस नंबर 2, exception does not occur in the tie block. टाई ब्लॉक के अंदर वो एक्सेप्शन आया ही नहीं. देयर आर 3 points. In part number 2, the tie and finally close. The case number 1, the exception occurs in the tie block, and case number 2, the exception does not occur in the tie block. This case number 2. Okay. The exceptions occurs in the tie block and handled in the catch block. There's important point, important concept. If a statement in the tie blocks arrives an exceptions, then the rest of the tie block does not execute the control path to the corresponding catch block. First part. This is first part. In second part, after executing the catch block, the control with transfer to the finally block is present, and then the rest program will be executed. This is a second part. Exceptional handling exceptions occurs in tie blocks is not handled in catch block. First part. In this case, the default handling mechanism is followed. If finally block is present, it will be executed followed by the default handling mechanism. Important part. Means the default handling mechanism is followed here. If finally block is present, it will execute the followed by the default handling mechanism. Third part is exception does not occur in the try block. In this case, the catch block never run as they are only meant to the run when an exception occurs. Finally block is present, it will execute follow the rest of the program. It will follow the rest of the program. This exception does not occur in the try block. Means exceptions does not occur in try block. Now, the topic is control flow in try finally. In this case, the no matter where the executions occurs in the try block and finally will always execute it, but the control flow will always depend upon the vaccine execution is a try blocks or not. First is exceptions right. This exceptions has occurred in try block, then control flow will be finally block followed by the default exceptions handling the mechanism. Second part, exception no tries. If exception does not occur in the try block, then the control flow will finally block followed by the rest of the program. This is a control flow on the try finally. Try finally. In this part, default exceptions handling. Whereas inside the method, exceptions hasn't occurred and method creates an object. This is not exceptions object and hence it is off to run time system JVM. Java virtual machine. This is part number 1. Second part, the execution object contain the name, description of the execution, exceptions, and current state of the program where the exceptions occurred. जहां पे exception आया है, उसे current state का description वो उसके अंदर होता है, किसके अंदर? ऑब्जेक्ट के अंदर. It is called default execution exceptions handling. Default में क्या होता है? वो by JVM के through है. In third part, you can see that the create the exceptions object and handling it in the runtime system is called throwing exceptions. Is called throwing exception. Exception. भाई एक तो चीज हमारे पास हो गई जो उसके अंदर JVM के अंदर है एक्सेप्शन हैंडल करने का. एक हमारे पास है जो रन टाइम पे जो होता है उसको वो एक्सेप्शंस को आगे वो उसको सेंड कर देता है. You can see the JVM reaction to the exception. How the JVM react when the exceptions came. First is looking for the appropriate handle. Second, looking for appropriate handler. इसमें क्या होता है हमारे पास? This is a part method where the error occurred. जहां error occurred हुआ है. Method without exceptional handler एक part है हमारे पास. Method with exceptional handler and the main part. These are the parts. इन तीनों के अंदर हमारे पास the method where the errors occurred is throw the exceptions. Method without the exception handler, it is forward the exceptions. And method with the exception handler, the catch some other exceptions. This is the part is JVM reaction to exceptions. It is JVM exception. So where the method and error occurred, method without the exception handler, method with exception handler, and the main part, and its the exceptions can be followed. The reaction to the JVM. JVM reaction to the exceptions. First part, the JVM react to the exception based on the predefined rule. It will depend upon the predefined rule. How the JVM react to the exception, it will depend upon the predefined rules. When the exceptions occur, first part, when the exceptions occur within the method के अंदर अगर होता है, then JVM search for the appropriate exception handler. That time the JVM is searching for the appropriate exception handler. Second part, if the method where the exceptions occurred contains try and catch block that match the throw exceptions, the control will transfer to the corresponding catch block. Second part. Third part, if there is a no suitable catch block, अगर वहां पे catch block suitable है ही नहीं, in the current method, the JVM proceeds to the unwind the method's called stack. Called stack. अगर वहां पे suitable catch block है ही नहीं, तो वहां पर there is unwind the methods called stack. It continue the searching the throw the call stack until the finds a method that's containing appropriate exception handler. तो तब तक रहेगा जब तक वो appropriate exception handler नहीं मिल जाता. If the exceptioners remain unhandled after the call stack is unwound, the JVM may terminate the program. अगर वो नहीं मिल पाता तो JVM may terminate the program. The termination of the program might involve the printing the stack traces which provide the information about the location and nature of the exceptions. और जब वो terminate करेगा तो उस टाइम पे जितना प्रोग्राम के हमारे पास जो informations है, the locations and the nature of the expression has been printed here. This is some reference. I have taken some this PPT and reference from there. You can also take reference from there. Thank you for the watching.